What up YouTube, Jade up here, and today I am going to test ride a new 2024 Harley Road Glide. Everybody's been hyping these things up, so I'm curious to see what it's all about. Let's do it. So this is the bike I took out, guys. It's got that shark skin color, pretty color. Blackout. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not a huge fan of the chrome. Yeah, like I said, there's that expansion tank I'm going to talk about. Very small, just kind of hanging on the side of the bike. Like the new handlebars, I do. Really do. Gonna flip the screen on now, and like I said, I think they did pretty good with the screen, guys. Like I said, there's not much glare there. I didn't have any issues with the sun. There's that cheap plastic I don't like. I do find it funny that Harley ended up going with the door mechanism similar to that of the Indians. Me too, man. See, those are those hand controls I'm going to talk about. I'm not a huge fan of these being on top. They're not very intuitive. However, there's a button for everything. Windshield useless. I'll get into that. But yeah, that's pretty much, like I said, very pretty how they did all this. I still wish they had electronic locking bags. Don't know why they didn't do that. I do like the fact they went with the CVO taillights. I think that looks really nice. Floorboards, man, those floorboards are tiny. I do like the brake pedal. The brake pedal from the factory, Indian still uses the peg, so I like that a lot. It's a nice bike, guys. It really is. There's just a lot of these little things I'm just not a huge fan of. I love the running light, how they did that. As you can see though, that headlight is huge. It takes up so much space on the front of the fairing. It looks good though. Like I said, I like the fact that they integrated all the LEDs. This is the part that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the amber turn signal. Yeah, see, I'd prefer that to be red, but that's just me. Let's get into this breakdown, guys. What do you think? Nice bike.
All right,
definitely
guys.
A nice
so I
bike.
just got back from doing the 2024 Harley Road Glide. Sorry, Road Glide. Road test. I did a test drive on one. Wow, a lot of stuff to get into. I'll first just say it wasn't the greatest test ride. I'll be the first one to admit that it didn't last long. I mean, we're talking less than maybe 10 miles worth of riding it. So some of the stuff's going to be kind of a snap judgment of what I thought. But there were some things that, like, right out the gate, I liked. And there were things out the gate that I really, really didn't like. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, so as you all know, I have a 2023 Indian Challenger. So a lot of my comparisons are going to be basically Challenger versus Road Glide. And what I'm going to say will pretty much go standard for the 2024 model year Indian as well, because they really didn't change a whole lot on that. But right out the gate, I can tell you, I think the overall design change of the Road Glide is a plus for the Harley. I don't think I'm 100% convinced about that new front end, but I like it tenfold over the previous generation Road Glide. Hands down, not even an argument. I never liked the dual headlight look on the Road Glide. So that right there, kudos. I think Harley did a pretty good job of restyling the bike to make it look more modern and definitely more cutting edge. I still kind of prefer the Challenger's overall design better. I think the Challenger did a really, really good job with mixing a classic look with modern look. And I think Harley did pretty good too, but man, that headlight is huge. Like, it's a big opening for the headlight on the Harley. And it almost, I don't know, it might take it away just a little bit, but I really like how they integrated the running lights into that headlight. And obviously Harley has now gone fully LED, finally. So I really, really liked the fact that the running light looks really nice and that it's got the switchbacks for the turn signals on the front. while on the subject of lights, and guys, some of this stuff's going to be really petty. It's very much my own personal tastes. I like the fact that they went with the CVO design on the taillights. However, and this is just me, some people probably could care less. It's just me. I would have liked it had they kept a red turn signal. The amber didn't look really great to me. Not to mention, if you were to put bag lights or something on it and you wanted to run it as a turn signal, now you're going to have an amber turn signal and a red turn signal up on your bag. Unless, of course, and I don't know, I have not looked into this, but not unless they actually make like an integrated bag light that has amber in it. Now, I know, I can't remember the name of the company, but there's an aftermarket company that just did this for Indian. The turn signals on the bag lights that they designed are amber, not red. But just my personal preference, I prefer the red turn signal over the amber. But I do like the overall design of the tail lights a lot better. I think that where they place the handlebars on the new Road Glide, a significant improvement. It's very much damn close where I'd want my handlebars to be placed at. So I did reduce reach bars on my Indian, but I would like to find a bar that not only brought the bars 2 inches back, but raised it maybe 1.5 inches up. And unfortunately, I've tried the mid-rise bars from Indian, and I'm not a fan of those. So, like I said, Harley did a really good job on the overall design and where the handlebar placement is. The screen, I don't dislike it, but I'm not in love with it. First thing I will say, I noticed we rode and the sun was at our back for some of it. Didn't get any glare. I was very impressed with how well the backlighting is on that screen. I did not get any glare. The screen, as far as user friendliness, it's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's any better or worse than what the ride command is on the Indian. It's simple for the most part. It's not hard to navigate. It took me about 10 minutes to kind of find my way around there, what I was looking for. I did notice that they didn't have the navigation turned on, and I forgot that you got to pay, I think it's $375 or something for Harley to turn on the navigation. So there's that. As far as like Harley versus Indian goes, guys, I think Harley's making really good strides. One thing that I still to this day I will admit to anybody, I think Harley has got the paint department down pat. I think that they offer a better variety of colors. I think the paint quality of the bikes that they paint are better. Indian is okay. They've got your standard colors. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I actually ended up painting my bike because they didn't have the color that I wanted. But I think Indian will slowly but surely get better in that department. But Harley's got them, man. Harley's paint is just on top of it. They do a really, really good job with the paint on those bikes. So yeah, power-wise, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm being 100% honest, not being biased, I have a stock Challenger Dark Horse behind me. I've not done any kind of cams. There's slip-ons on it, and that's it. The Harley, while the power is much improved over the old model, the Challenger is going to walk that Harley no problem. Like, it's just not, they're not even in the same realm as power-wise. I mean, now I will say Harley's got low-end torque. It really is, it's there. It's definitely there when you first take off, but I noticed on the ride home, I rode my Indian home, and I'm just like, dude, there's no way. I was tearing that Road Glide up and down, and while the power is improved, the Indian it's going to walk it every time. And if you put cams or something in the Indian, it's not even going to be a thing. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't do cams and stuff in the Harley, and I'm sure that would improve it significantly, but I'd still say the Challenger is far, far more powerful than that of the you know, at least as far as like just on the road. Um, Suspension, Harley's is improved, still not great. The suspension on those bikes, I think they added an additional inch of travel in the rear suspension or something. And it is better. It is you can notice that it's better, but once again, the Challenger's just rides better. It just does. It handles better. The inverted forks on the front uh, of the Challenger, it might be a contributing factor or whatnot, but nah. Now it is fair. I rode a standard road glide. I rode a 2024 standard road glide. I think it was that shark skin paint, and it was blacked out. So that's what I rode. I did not ride a CVO ST or the CVO. I didn't ride those. I'm not interested in those. They're so far out of my price range. The CVO ST, while it looks pretty cool, it's not exactly going to be user-friendly for anybody that actually needs a passenger. It doesn't come with a passenger seat. It doesn't even come with passenger pegs or anything. So if you're going to get the power of that 121, that's great. But if you're going to do any kind of passenger riding, you're going to have a passenger on with you that's going to be useless because you're going to have to spend money to get all that stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and say, coming from Harley, it's probably not going to be cheap. So, like I said, the suspension is much improved, but still not. The Indian's is just better. It just is. The Indian handles better. The Road Glide will handle good, but it's just not on the same level as my Indian. I'm just saying. Braking. I was very surprised that the brakes on the Road Glide was not as good as the Indians. I was actually very surprised by that. I believe that Harley has always, or at least even in 2021 when I rode the one Road Glide, they have Brembo brakes. They had Brembo brakes. They just didn't advertise it. Harley didn't advertise it on the calibers or whatnot. The new bikes have Brembo brakes, and I believe on the STs they actually advertise Brembo on the caliber. The standard Road Glide has Brembo brakes. It's just not advertised. But yeah, no, Indian's brakes were just better. As far as stopping goes, feel of pedals, about the same. Not a significant enough difference to really talk about. But yeah, Indians got the brakes down pat on that. What else? Let's see here. I like the fact that Harley has integrated the liquid-cooled heads. No heat, not really a lot of heat coming off that motor. Very impressive compared to the old style that you could definitely feel some heat coming off the motor. The liquid-cooled heads definitely do make a difference and it's hot today, man. It's like 86 degrees and it's humid as hell. So it was noticeable. I was very impressed with that. I think that the only thing I don't like about what Harley did with the cooling system, it almost feels like it was an afterthought because the overflow tank, I guess you would say, is kind of bolted to the side of the frame. It kind of looks like a water bottle. Not a very nice fit and finish for that particular piece of hardware, in my opinion. The Challengers sits underneath it sits in front of the rear fender underneath the seat, so you don't really see that, so it's kind of nice and tucked away. This thing is just solid, and yeah, I guess if you didn't know what you were looking at, you may not notice it because it's not very big. It's literally, it's about the size of a water bottle, it's not very big. And it, I guess if it works, it works. It's just kind of funny that I'm like, really, that's the best place they could figure to stick that. Yeah. This is going to bring me probably to my biggest con of the new Road Glide. Something I absolutely don't like, and I don't know if there's really a great solution for it, and that is where the floorboards rest. Harley does not cater to a tall rider, and that's sad because I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'9". I said this in my last review video. I'm 5'9". I'm not that tall. But Harley just absolutely does not cater to the tall rider. You are significantly more scrunched up on the Road Glide than you ever would be on the Challenger. The new seat feels pretty good, but I could have stood to go almost. Oh, how do I want to describe this? There would have to be several things that would have to happen. A, the floorboards are too tiny. They're just too small. After I've been used to these Indian ones where I have so many different positions that I can put my feet, the Harley ones just don't work for me. They're too small. So they need to come out about an inch, down about maybe a half inch, and then forward about a half inch to an inch. And they need to be bigger. It just was not comfortable on those floorboards. I don't even think Harley offers a size floorboard that equates to that of the Indian Challengers, or any Indian for that matter, that has floorboards, because the floorboards on the Indian are pretty big. But it was kind of upsetting to me because I'm like, man, they made all these radical improvements, but yet they didn't even touch the riding position outside of the handlebars. And while I applaud them on the handlebars, really upset me. I'm like, man, I don't like this riding position at all. And I'm not sure if moving the forward, I don't know if there's a aftermarket kit that's going to move these forward controls or the floorboards in a way that's going to make them more comfortable. Not to mention, I would need new floorboards to begin with, just for size reasons. It was just kind of a weird. It was just kind of a weird seating riding position, I thought, compared to what I have on the Indian. And that was one of the things I applauded on the Indian when I bought it, was the riding position of it is so nice. It just, you have so much room to stretch out. Highway pegs would be an absolute must on a Harley. You always see Harleys with highway pegs. I get it. You got to have them. You just do. And I don't even know if that would improve it enough to make me that much more comfortable. You know, I don't know. Just something that really bugged me. I was like, they didn't even try to touch where the floorboards were. Now, I have a suspicion that I think a lot of that is so they can cater to female riders, which is great. I think that's a great thing. The problem comes in if you're over 5'6", 5'7", how much money are you going to have to dump into this Harley just to get these floorboards in order? I don't know. Maybe that's me. I don't know. I know my buddy Ryan, you guys have seen the reviews with him. He is a tall guy, and he, just absolutely needs, stretch his legs out. He's just too big for the bike. So that one kind of bothered me. Oh, one other thing that really bothered me. What the hell, Harley? That windshield on that bike is completely and utterly useless. It does nothing for wind blockage. Now, you get plenty of wind on the Road Glide. Absolutely plenty of wind. No problem there whatsoever. But, man, the buffeting, oh my gosh. That windshield was completely useless. Now, I know, once again, you could change the windshield. Yeah, I can, but they didn't even make the attempt to make it useful. It's there purely for aesthetics, I think. And also, I don't like the fact that it's not adjustable. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm sounding biased on this or not, but I have gotten so accustomed being able to adjust my windshield wherever I want it for whatever kind of condition. It is a wonderful, wonderful feature. And it sucks that Harley didn't even try to dive down that road. I mean, I guess there was I saw something or read something. Somebody asked about the adjustable windshield on the Harley, and I guess Harley guys said, well, we didn't want to, there would have to be a bigger fairing, and we didn't want to do that, so we just kind of, And I was like, oh, all right, I guess, but I didn't like that. I'd like to see them do the adjustable windscreen because it's such a nice feature. So windshield, useless on the Harley. So one of the first things I'd have to do if I bought one outside of the floorboard situation is I'm going to have to find a windshield that actually works, because that thing doesn't do crap. It's just useless. Air cleaner, air cleaner's an air cleaner. It was kind of in the way a little bit. Like I noticed my leg touching up against it, but it wasn't so bad that it bothered me. It's not the prettiest air cleaner in the world, but it's not bad. Um, the hand controls. We got to talk about the hand controls. I feel like these hand controls are a love-hate thing. I applaud Harley on the fact that they made those. They put basically a button for anything possible that you can think of. You're gonna find on that screen, and they made it so simplistic with left, right, up, down, enter in the center. I love that you can select your modes from the hand controls. I think that is great. I can't do that on my Indian. I think that is a great feature. And I think, that brings up another thing real quick. The modes. I like the fact that Harley has introduced sport mode, standard mode, rain mode, just like Indian did. And they work good. I had no issues with it. I pretty much kept it in sport mode because I was more curious about the power. But, yeah, no, definitely no issues there. I like the modes, but I like that I can select it from my hand controls. And the big issue that I have with the hand controls are the buttons that sit on top of the of the box of the hand control. Writing, it's not as intuitive as I thought it would be. Being able to select cruise control and stuff, it was, and I mean, once you got used to it, it probably wouldn't be a problem. Maybe I didn't like the buttons on top. The starter didn't bother me because you're only going to start your bike and then that button's done. But the fact that the cruise controls over here, oh yeah, and another thing, like all the directionals are on your left side, and your radio controls are on your right side. So I don't think I like that, because do you really want to fumble around with the radio, the volume, and everything else while you're on the throttle side? I don't know. See, I don't mind the cruise control on throttle side because I'm setting the cruise and that's basically it. No problem. And they're just little toggle switches on my Indian. These things are actual buttons. Once again, and it's a Harley thing. Harley's going to Harley. Still hate the left and right turn signal thing. Sorry, guys. I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't like it. Once again, you can get used to anything, but I still don't like it. It just so not thinking about it. I must have hit the enter button like 4 times trying to. Shit, I forgot. It's over here. So just my personal opinion. No, not upset by it. Not whatever. It's just Harley being Harley. But yeah. Just those hand controls. I like that there's a button for everything, and I understand that you're going to run out of room, so you got to put it somewhere. But I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the buttons on the top of the box of the hand controls. I didn't like that. Clutch feel between the bikes, not bad. Harley's is definitely a little bit more aggressive, I would say, the clutch is. No issues there grabbing, whereas with this slipper clutch, you got to let your hand control out pretty far before you'll feel a grab. But once you ride the bike for a while, you don't really notice it anymore. But it's just one of those things. So the clutch on it was pretty good. The overall fit and finish of the Harley, I don't want to pass judgment on it just yet. And why I say that is because Harley, this is the first year for a radical change for these bikes for Harley, the Street Glide and the Road Glide. And so I feel like they're leaving a little bit of meat on the table right now. So next year they can make a few tweaks. The following year they can make a few tweaks and slowly but surely get it to where it needs to be. I do not like on the standard Road Glide that the inner fairing is unpainted. It is just black, plain ABS plastic. Indian did the same thing when they first brought out the Challenger, and I didn't like that either. I thought that was just a very unprofessional looking fit and finish on the inside there. Very cheap. Okay, now if you move up to the CVO, it's like my bike where the inside of the fairing is all blacked out. Looks a lot nicer. And then if you go up to the regular CVO, it's actually body colored painted inside of the fairing. I'm not actually a big fan of that. It was too much. It didn't give anything to, you know, break it up, I guess you could say. I much preferred the gloss black of the CVOST. Maybe that's a sportier look. I don't know, but I much preferred that. But just the standard ABS plastic on there, not great looking, very cheap looking. Not, in my opinion, up to Harley standards. The other thing that blew me away, Harley's audio system blows. Wow, is it bad? Like, it's really bad. It's awful. It's downright awful, actually. Apparently, Harley goes in stages, like, oh, you go to stage 1, stage 2 or something. Bigger speakers, more amplification. I don't know. All I know is factory for factory, my Dark Horse's audio system was much nicer, much cleaner, much crisper, much louder than Harley's stock system on the standard Road Glide. Now, I don't know what Indian's base model Challenger's sound system sounds like. I've never ridden one. I couldn't tell you. So it's probably not the greatest either. But I'm just saying, wow, everybody wants to compare the standard Road Glide to like the Dark Horse and the Limited and all that. And just, wow, not even kind of good. And that's a lot of money to upgrade that audio system. Now, I have the power band in mine now, and that is pretty darn good as far as motorcycle audio systems go. Of course, there's aftermarket. You can go as crazy as you want. But my audio system for a motorcycle has impressed me so far. I really like it. But I was very unimpressed by the audio system on Harleys. Like I said, guys, there's just those little, and these are little things. These are things that I'm noticing. Like when I did my last comparison of the Road Glide and the Challenger, I really didn't have a lot of time on either bike, so it was snap judgment. But after riding the Challenger and then riding the Road Glide, there are definitely significant things that I'm like, no, I don't like that. Yes, I did like that better. So, like I said, I think Harley's making great strides as far as making their bikes more desirable and more modern, but I still think they got a long way to go on certain things. The price, Harley, I'll give credit to Harley. They got the price right on the standard Road Glide. I think it's like $26,900 or something. They definitely did well getting the price where it needs to be at on the Road Glide. However, these guys that are comparing like, oh, it's a better bang for your buck. I think you're within $1,000. I think you're within $500 to $1,000 of what Indian's charging for their bikes if you option them out similarly. CBOs, STs, the ST and all that, that thing's crazy expensive, like 40-some thousand dollars. Even the Challenger Elite isn't that expensive. So the standard is like $26,900 or something like that. But if you were to get the blacked out package, and if you're going to get a color other than, I think it's gray, you're talking about an additional, you're right there close to the $29,000 mark. Again, similar to the Indian. Indian's right there about the 29.5, I think, maybe 30 now. One thing Indian's doing for the 2024s that I really like is they're offering the premium audio package, the power band audio package with the saddlebag lid speakers and everything already on the bike if you so choose. Now it's like $32,000, $31,000 or $32,000 depending on, I think, to get that package. But it's nice that it's already there. Comes out, I think, a little cheaper than if you were to buy it, you know, after you bought a Challenger. They didn't offer that on the 23. That's new for 24. But yeah, as far as the aftermarket goes, guys, I don't really think. I think Harley still got the aftermarket locked up just because of all the years and years and years of vendors that have catered to Harley. But Indian's getting there, man. There's not much you can't do to an Indian anymore. I know there's still a big problem right now. You can get cams from Indian for the Challengers now for 23, 24, but the aftermarket hasn't quite cracked the code yet for tuning on these yet. So they're working on it. I have no doubts that it will be a thing here soon. They haven't quite gotten there yet. Indian really didn't want these guys like getting in here and tuning these bikes. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think Indian would welcome it. I don't think Indian wants to deal with the EPA. So I'm going to go ahead and say anything performance-wise that is being difficult to work on is because of the EPA, because the EPA sucks. I mean, best way to say it. But yeah, guys, like I said, the Harley, as much as it is improved, there are still some key elements there that just didn't really throw me. I was impressed with certain items, but I was just as unimpressed with the others. So I guess, am I going to trade my Indian in? Nah, not even a little bit. I think my Challenger is just a better machine than the Road Glide. I like the Road Glide. I like the way it looks, especially the new one. You know, it's just the fact that there's just those little itty bitty things they just didn't address, and that really sucks because it just, I don't know, those little things add up, and it makes you like, why didn't you do this, Harley? You know, like electronic locking bags. My bike has them. You know, it's one of those things you never think you'd like, but you know, once you have them, they're great. I love my electronic locking bags, and I believe you gotta get a CVO to get that option from Harley. Now, Harley did start including the traction control and whatnot standard on those Road Glides, which is a huge improvement over the previous generation. You had to order that extra, and it wasn't very cheap. But like I said, guys, I mean, you got to ride one. I could see where guys are going to ride that and really like it because it's the new thing. It's the new hotness. It's different. It's different. And anything different from Harley is cool because Harley doesn't change much very often. So, like I said, I think they did great with a lot of the design elements and the integration of the LEDs and how they did all that. And I'm gonna go ahead and address this right now, guys. Whether you love Harley, hate Harley, love Indian, hate Indian, this bike does not exist without my bike behind me. That's the reality of the situation. Harley would not have made these drastic changes to their bikes if they were not feeling it from Indian. I'm telling you, if you do not believe that, then you are a very naive person, okay? The Challenger made the Road Glide better. It just did. And I'm very curious to see what Indian's response will be. I would think it would be next year, but I don't know. I don't think Indian needs to do a lot of drastic changes because I just think that the Challenger is a better bike overall as far as just stock for stock, you know. But I'm curious to see what Indian's going to respond to Harley with. So, like I said, guys, I liked it. I didn't love it. It's a nice bike. I enjoyed riding it. Oh, real quick, one thing. I don't know what this is about, but it was weird. The handlebars have some wiggle to them. And apparently this is a thing. There's a bushing in there, and apparently you can change it out to a metal bushing, and it alleviates that. But the fact that it's there, I'm guessing they use the rubber bushing for vibration dampening. But guess what? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. There's still vibration there. There's still vibration there. Not bad. Not that it would sway me. It's not bad enough to where I guess it would sway me from buying the bike, but it's still very noticeably there compared to that of the Challengers or any Indian for that matter. So, like I said, guys, I think they did a good job. I can see where people are going to buy that, especially people that have currently owned Road Glides and stuff like the old gen. I think if you have an old gen Road Glide and that's what you're going to buy is a Road Glide, I'll be damned if I'm going to buy an Indian situation. You know, I could totally see where this would be a huge improvement for you. The new Road Glide is a huge, huge improvement over the old Road Glide. But I don't think it's quite on the level of Indian yet. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like I said, I'm curious to see where Harley goes with this because, like I said, they made some great strides. I'm curious to see if they tweak these little things maybe in the future to make it better. But that's currently where I'm at with it, guys. Like I said, I did a little bit of this commentary, doing a walk around, a voiceover with it, and then obviously this is my raw unfiltered review. And like I said, guys, you might disagree with me. If you have, maybe I left something out, I don't know. Leave a comment down below. like I said, I try to get back to everybody in the comments that I can. I appreciate everybody who watches the videos. You guys are awesome. The channel is growing, and I'm trying to bring you more videos. I know this one's a little late. I should have done this a long time ago, but scheduling and work's been crazy. So, like I said, guys, please subscribe if you haven't already done it. Like I said, like and comment the video, share the video, guys. I'm trying to get more and more out there, and anytime I'm thinking of ideas for videos, I'm going to bring them to you guys. There's a few videos on the back burner right now for my bike that I'm working on. They'll be out within the next couple of months. Okay, so like I said, guys, thanks for watching, and until next video,